Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a seriously mind-bending journey through time, space, and human history. We're going to uncover exactly how ancient scientists translated incredibly complex physics, cosmic astronomy, and even our own human ancestry into the legendary mythos of the Saptarishi, the seven sages of Hinduism.
So let's just dive right into this with a pretty audacious question. What if the stars you see in the night sky were actually part of an ancient code? I mean, what if those ancient storytellers weren't just spinning fairy tales around a campfire, but were actually predicting the mechanics of the Big Bang thousands of years before modern telescopes even existed?
To really understand the power and purpose of these seven sages, we first need to look at the very creation of the universe itself. So let's jump into Section 1, Architects of the Cosmos, and explore the blueprint of reality.
Now, it is absolutely fascinating how perfectly the ancient Hindu myth of creation actually aligns with modern cosmology. Think about it. On one side, we've got the story of the egg of Brahma, this divine seed planted in water that matures under immense heat, eventually cracking open to reveal the universe. On the exact flip side, you have the Big Bang theory, right? A singular point of incredibly high heat and density that rapidly expands. The seed is the singularity. The cracking of the egg is the expansion. It's literally the exact same fundamental concept, just wrapped in a completely different vocabulary.
And this brings us to a massive paradigm shift. You see, the Saptarishi weren't just wizards reciting spells out in the forest. As the sources point out, they were the hardcore scientists and brilliant observers of their era. Just think about it. If you need to explain the complex laws of quantum physics or cosmic expansion to someone with absolutely zero background in science, what do? Well, you use metaphors. You tell a really good story. The Saptarishi used storytelling to explain the literal laws of the universe to the masses, and over generations, that hard science was simply remembered as myth.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Seven Sages Unveiled. Here, we're going to explore the vast, mind-bending scale of cosmic time.
Okay, so according to Hindu cosmology, the universe doesn't just happen once. It unfolds in these massive, repeating cycles called manvantaras. Basically, a manvantara is a cosmic age ruled by a progenitor known as a Manu. But here is the really fascinating part. With each and every new cosmic era, a completely new group of seven sages emerges to preserve cosmic harmony and guide our spiritual evolution. It started with the first era, Swayambhuva. Right now, we're sitting smack in the middle, in the seventh era, Vaivaswata. And there's going to be an eighth and eventually a 14th and final era before the whole cycle resets.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that these seven specific men are currently tasked with guiding our spiritual evolution in our present age, the Vaivasvata Manvantara. We have Atri, the seer of divine balance, Bharadwaja, who you might actually know as the father of the great warrior teacher Drona. There's Gautama, the sage of discipline, right alongside the fierce warrior sage Jamadagni. We've also got Kashyapa, revered as the progenitor of life itself, Vashishta, the ultimate embodiment of divine wisdom, and finally Vishwamitra, a powerful king whose sheer willpower literally transformed him into a venerated sage. Together, they represent this perfect balance of intellect, discipline, and cosmic order.
But you know, these ancient scholars didn't just walk the earth. As we'll see in Section 3, Saptarishi and the Stars, they left a permanent celestial footprint.
Now, you might be wondering, how exactly did these legendary historical figures end up glowing up there in the night sky? Well, the Puranas actually tell a beautiful story about this. The sages acted as the guardians of a highly devout young boy named Dhruva. When the god Vishnu rewarded Dhruva with an eternal place in the heavens as the pole star, or Dhruvatara, he actually elevated the Saptarishi to the sky as well, just so they could accompany him forever.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the sages were immortalized. What we typically call the Ursa Major constellation, or, the Big Dipper, is actually known in Indian astronomy as the Saptarishi Mandala. The stars we know today in the West as Dubi, Merak, Thecta, Megrez, Alioth, Mizar, and Alkaid, they directly correspond to the ancient sages Kratu, Pulaha, Pulestia, Atri, Angaras, Vashishta, and Marichi. They are literally up there right now, eternally rotating around the pole star.
Now, if you have a keen eye and look really closely at the star Vasishta, which is known in the West as Mizar, you'll spot a tiny, faint companion star right next to it. In Western astronomy, it's called Alcor, but in Hindu tradition, this is Arundhati, the wife of Vasishta. Because these two stars move in such perfect synchrony with one another, they serve as the ultimate symbol of an ideal, balanced marriage. In fact, to this very day, an essential ritual in a Hindu wedding is for the newly married couple to step outside and look up at Vasishta and Arundhati to seek inspiration for their own partnership. How cool is that?
But it goes way beyond just symbolism. The Saptarishi were deeply embedded in incredibly complex ancient astronomy. Early Indian astronomers, like Vrida Garga, made this fascinating calculation. The Great Bear constellation remains in a specific lunar mansion, or nakshatra, for exactly 100 years before continuing a slow, retrograde cosmic movement. I mean, that shows an astonishing level of observational astronomy, mapping out centuries of stellar movement long before modern tech. All right, we've explored the massive cosmos and the distant stars, but let's bring this directly into your living room with Section 4, Origins of Human Lineage, focusing on the Gotra system.
This brings us to the fascinating concept of Gotra. Basically, a Gotra is a lineage that traces direct descent from one of the original Saptarishi, along with an eighth sage named Agastya. Today, literally millions of people trace their Gotra directly back to these ancient seers. And it's not just about a biological family tree. It represents a deep spiritual, intellectual, and genealogical connection. It proves that this isn't just dead history, right? It's a living thread connecting modern people directly to the ancient architects of knowledge.
Over thousands of years, the Gotra system naturally evolved and expanded. While it started with those 8 core sages among the Brahmins, it grew over time to include disciples and adopted sons. Eventually, it became a broader framework adopted by all different social classes, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Sometimes, a Gotra was even assigned based entirely on your profession. For example, blacksmiths might belong to the Sanaga Gotra. This beautifully illustrates how the legacy of the Saptarishi was woven right into the very social and professional fabric of India.
Finally, let's look at a fascinating, almost mystical way these sages are believed to still actively shape human destinies today, in Section 5, Secrets in the Palm Leaves, looking at Nadi astrology.
Legend actually has it that the Saptarishis wrote down the destinies of human beings on palm leaves thousands of years ago, and the process to unlock this is just incredible. First, a seeker provides just their thumb impression. Yeah, that's right, just a thumbprint. The astrologer then uses that unique print to locate a specific ancient manuscript written in Old Tamil script. Then, through a series of questions, they narrow it down until they find the exact leaf detailing your life's karmic patterns, your past, your future, and highly personalized remedies for your specific challenges.
Now, why does this matter? Because this practice isn't just about cheap fortune-telling. It offers comprehensive insights into your unique traits and significant life events with what many claim is remarkable accuracy. We're talking about revealing specific names and dates. But more importantly, it acts as a real tool for emotional and spiritual growth. By understanding your karmic debts, it gives you a deeply personalized roadmap for your life, allowing you to balance planetary energies through specific remedies and charitable acts. It is quite literally ancient wisdom applied to modern stress.
As you reflect on the incredible journey of this explainer, from the staggering physics of the Big Bang to the stars of the Big Dipper, all the way down to the very lineage in our blood, I want you to leave with this translated quote from our sources. They reside not in the sky, but within us. We are all children of the sages. The Saptarishi are so much more than just distant stars or historical footnotes. They are the ancient scientists of the soul. So the next time you look up at the night sky, ask yourself, are you just looking at burning gas millions of light years away? Or are you looking at a mirror, reflecting the ancient untapped wisdom that already exists inside of you? Thank you so much for exploring with us.